All right, everyone. Welcome to episode 3. This is going to be a little bit different than the previous 2 episodes. The previous 2 episodes were under a series. We will continue to do series as this podcast progresses, but we are also going to be doing a little bit more casual stuff like this, just a conversation with someone who we think identifies with and personifies the brand of Kings Creek. So that said, welcome, Adam.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah. Why don't you just, I think it's always better when the guest gets to introduce himself so I don't miss anything or feel bad for missing anything. So why don't you take the floor and just kind of introduce yourself? Who is Adam?
Yeah. My name is Adam, obviously, and I'm a barber downtown in Augusta, Georgia. I've been here for about, almost 4 years, and met Jesse through the barbershop, and definitely been pretty good friendship.
What did you move here for barbering, like just for a barbering position?
No, I actually moved down here with my ex. She took a job at SRS.
All right.
And that was during the pandemic, and just decided that I should give this a shot, and I'm glad I did.
Did you? I always forget this, and Melissa asks me all the time. Did you barber up north too?
I was more of a cosmetologist up north, so my clientele was probably like an 80-20 up there, where it's the opposite down here.
Right.
Yeah.
And just, I guess, maybe to give some of the listeners an idea, the barbershop where Adam is more of a, a manly boutique type, cool vibe there.
Mm-hmm.
On their website, it says like a European culture, like a European barber culture. How accurate is that? I mean, I don't even know what that looks like. But
I don't even look Europe.
Thank you.
European.
Yeah.
Maybe the mustache.
Maybe the mustache, yeah. You know, the mustache is a November thing.
We're working on it. I'm working on it.
We can get into that. That's just, I grow it out for men's health awareness. Usually I raise money and donate to Movember for men's health awareness. Yeah.
That's a cool deal. But I just know the vibe down there. And there's, when you get connected to a barber who I've always just been enamored by barbers. I didn't really want Adam to know how enamored by barbers I was, because then he kind of, I lose my control a little bit.
Yeah.
No, in all seriousness though, I've always really been interested in just the environment of the barbershop for men. And then as, it's kind of like it's the resurgence. And this might just be in my opinion, I might be totally off, but it's kind of like the resurgence of the man's barbershop.
I mean, I think that's what he was going for when he created this place. And it's very comfortable, very relaxed, good vibes. You can come in and chill, or you can come in and have a conversation about something you got to get off your chest, and it usually stays there, It would with me. I mean, I try to keep it in-house, Some guys just need a vent. Some guys just want to feel good. And it's a pretty cool career. You can do that for some people.
Yeah. We were saying prior, just kind of planning for this episode, that like it feels like barbering is like the last bastion of like a man's place where you could just go be amongst other men and just kind of like, I don't know, talk, but like talk freely, it feels like. And that's not to say you're talking about crazy bad things, but just, I don't know, it's a different speech. That's how I feel, at least.
Yeah, different vibe, kind of, you don't feel judged. You're just going in there.
Right.
Usually you build a good rapport with your clientele, and they feel comfortable talking to you and stuff like that. And sometimes you just listen. It's great. And it's not like, we do this at the clubhouse, at the golf course and stuff like that. We'll go in there and just relax. Everybody kind of talk about it. And it kind of gives me that same kind of vibe sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Right. Kind of like the hunt club, sitting around the fire, sitting at the hunt club.
Yep.
The locker room, that same feel. But I feel like it literally has disappeared for a long time.
It definitely did. It took off I think it really took off about 10 years ago that I can remember. it kind of like went away. Men's cuts weren't that popular, weren't making that much, income for, the stylists, I guess you could say. And then it really started taking off in the industry again. They started promoting it again. That's where I really started seeing the change.
And I think it's so cool because you could be used, obviously, in so many different ways. But for me, the neatest part is I'm my son. That's where Noah gets his haircut. So it's just something I feel like has been lost in the demasculinization. How do you say that word? Can we figure that out real quick?
Yeah.
Is it demasculinizing or demasculinization or
baby infantilization? How's that?
Well, just taking the man out of men. I think one of the things that was lost with that was that the barbershop connection was a place that you could go with your son and you could have him around, all different walks of life, and he can meet many different people. And if you want to learn about the community that you're in, just sit your rear end down in that barber seat for a little while, and you'll kind of see what all's out there, and opportunity to get involved.
Yeah, definitely. You see all walks of life, and it's great. If you can, I feel like I'm pretty open to anybody that wants to come in and just get a haircut. I could be a friend with anybody. If they just need to talk, or you got lawyers, you got plumbers, you got all walks of life, and it's pretty great.
See, I think I would never get a haircut. I could not complete one.
What are you talking about? You never get a haircut. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about if I was a stylist or barber, I wouldn't get anything done.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm sitting there and I want to keep the conversation going, and Adam's like, look, dude, you got to go. I got 3 people waiting, and I'm still trying to dig my claws in. But just when I think about it, just as we're sitting here, I think about, from a community standpoint, my brother-in-law, my little nephew, Melissa's stepsister, her husband and her son, they both go there. My son, there's so many people now.
Yeah.
And it's just a cool thing. It's just something that we've all got that, if I don't know, I could go on and on about it, but I highly recommend if you can afford the plane ticket, if you're not from around here, you need to go spend some time with Adam. So,
yeah.
Thank you.
I guess I want to take it back a little bit. So you grew up north. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Where at?
East Cleveland, Ohio. So mostly in Madison, Ohio, and then moved over a little bit closer to Cleveland in Menor, Ohio.
All right. Did you do any swimming in Lake Erie?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely when I was younger.
Dreary Erie?
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. It's a lake.
Yeah.
But
that's a lake. See, this is what's funny. So I grew up in Rochester, New York. I don't know if you know where that is. It's maybe, 5-6 hours from Cleveland, something like that.
Yep.
Sounds about right. And we're on Lake Ontario. And those are like lakes to me, to where like you can't see across. But then I come here like Clarksville, and it's like, bro, I got to throw a stone to the other side of this lake. This is a lake.
And it's hot.
Yeah, it does get hot. It gets like 70 degrees.
Get in Lake Michigan in July. You will freeze.
Oh, yeah. It's cold.
It is. And I thought it was the ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know any different.
I think I was telling you Lake Ontario is like 800 feet deep, but Lake Superior, I think, is 1,600 or something like that. It's super deep.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah, Lake Erie, I think, is the shallowest out of them all, I think.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit warmer than those lakes, but.
Yeah, there's a lot of cities, though, that kind of border that lake, though. So what was growing up in Cleveland like?
It was great. Good people, a lot, definitely into the sports scene, and
Are you a Browns fan?
oh yeah,
That's funny.
Huge
I know the
fan.
pain. I'm a Bills fan.
Yeah.
Granted, we're having this year is kind of already gone, but we've been better than years prior. But so are y'all.
Yeah, we're actually better this year than we've been in a minute. So
Yeah.
with a lot of injuries, and they've overcome a lot of injuries actually with the quarterbacks and everything. So.
Chubb got hurt too, didn't he?
Yeah, dude. I thought the season was over when we lost Chubb.
Snapped his knees back.
Round
It's
two.
not funny, but
Round
The
two.
second
Round
time.
two.
Yeah. It's a Lattimore-ish situation, I think, with him.
I just, I was up there last week, and I got to go to the Browns-Steelers game, and it was his first time showing up, I think, at the game, and that was pretty cool to see the stadium.
Yeah, really
Get all
show
pumped for him.
appreciation
Oh,
for
yeah.
him. Yeah.
I was going crazy.
Yeah, I mean, he almost single-handedly kind of turned it around for that team.
He's
Yeah.
dynamite.
Yeah.
He's so good.
So, I guess moving into more like the career aspect. So, growing up, did you always kind of have an eye on being a barber, or I guess you were a stylist at first? So, kind of explain what led you into this career, or if maybe you had your eye on something else and this is what you fell into.
I kind of fell into it. When I was growing up, I definitely loved golf. So Jesse can attest to that, but
Yeah.
So I did a lot of that. I didn't know what I was going to do coming out of high school. So I started pursuing golf a little bit and stuff like that. And that wasn't working out too well. So, I went off and on trying to figure out, community college and stuff like that. And it just wasn't really working, I guess you could say.
Oh, I get it.
The feeling wasn't there. And I was trying to figure out what it was. And somebody, my brother and I used to cut our hair in the basement when we were younger. And somebody brought it up. I can't remember who. I think it was a friend of my mom's. And I kind of just blew it off. And then later that month, I got a haircut. And I went in and wasn't feeling that great. But when I left, I was like in the best mood. I mean, I just felt great. So I was like, man, maybe I should look into this. This is kind of rewarding. You can really make somebody feel good about themselves every day. And went to the Paul Mitchell Academy. And
I know about that, I think.
that was it.
Where is that? The Paul Mitchell Academy. I mean, they probably have places all over.
They do, yeah.
Yeah.
The one I went to was in Twinsburg, Ohio. So
All
it was about 45-minute drive every day, which wasn't bad. It's all freeway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had one where I grew up. I remember going to visit it one day for some school. What do you call that?
It's called a field
trip. There you go. For a field trip, we went out and saw.
Can't do those
Saw
anymore.
one of those. Yeah.
No.
Really?
I don't think they get to leave school. It's such a prison.
Yeah.
They lock them down to make sure that they're
All safe.
they're safe and sound
Yeah.
in this dangerous outside world.
That's interesting. So, you're a barber. That do you claim the title barber, or do you more so identify with stylist? Because Paul Mitchell is not. I mean, you don't come out of there being a barber, right?
Correct. Right. Yeah. I came out of there as, I guess you could say, a stylist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And they set it up recently in the past where you would have dual license, barber, cosmetologist, or stylist. And when I moved down here, Dale Shop, the real life, it's a salon / barbershop. So I was able to get into that and be on the barber side more than the styling side. And I think when I got into the industry, I knew I wanted to be more of a barber where you're cutting hair instead of dyeing it and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of how I just went full swing with the barber part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just not a fan of the updo.
I am not. Yeah, they tried to in the past up north to get me into it. And I remember the second shop I worked at, and they're like, you're going to start doing updos. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to do updos or perms. And
The perm.
I'm gonna have to look this up because I don't know what an updo is.
It's just a, kind of,
fancy hair for like weddings and proms and
like
stuff
when you
like
have
that.
to tighten it all up.
On a girl?
Yep.
Yeah, it's just like all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
literally just pulling it up. All right.
Yeah.
The odd thing.
I thought you were talking about some crazy haircut.
Oh, like
No,
a
no,
special.
no. Yeah.
Not a fade or nothing. No, it's just a updo for women.
Yeah.
They're expensive too.
They are.
One thing that is kind of interesting that a lot of people don't know is I have a cousin that was a barber for probably 45, 50 years in my hometown in Alabama. And he ran a barbershop, and I used to go down there and get my hair cut from him. And it was just an awesome time. And my grandmother was also that's what she did. She was a beautician forever, and she had her own spot that she worked out of. And so I've kind of always, I'm not saying that I have aspired and tried to pursue it. It's just been something that's been super fascinating to me, just the life that you can have outside of the barbershop. So you can come in and do a lot of good, and then you've got some free time. And for some reason, I look back, regardless of where I was at in my career, the free time's always it's always kind of been important to me. What I did outside of the office. And I think that probably something that a lot of people don't know, because of the way that everything was going more towards cosmetology, stylist, and then maybe the demographic of, I don't know how to say it, but it may not have been attractive to a lot of men.
Yeah.
But I think we're kind of getting around that now.
100%.
And so for any guys out there that are wondering, that are sitting there like yourself, like all of us at some time, trying to figure out what we want to do, it seriously should rank up there. I mean, it checks all the boxes.
I'd be lying if I said I never thought of being a barber. Like, to me, it's that aspect where, like, I get to interact with so many different people on a daily basis and, like, learn a skill in the process of doing it. Like, you're always continually learning, I'm assuming.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're learning how to do the cuts. You're learning how to communicate with people.
Yeah.
You're trying to help people have a better day.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's cool. I think specifically with men's haircuts, because I know there's, like, you go to a woman's salon and they'll take 2 inches off, and that's like a huge deal. But for a guy, like, when I go, I don't look the same when I leave, because I always get like a skin fade, low skin fade, and I don't look the same. Like, I'll let it go a couple weeks, and I come out, and I'm like, man, I look like a new person. I'm younger.
Mm-hmm.
I look fresh.
Right.
Oh, you got a little pep in your step.
Yeah, a little pep in your step. And
you feel
that,
good.
like you said, it turns someone's day around.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you can do work for 30, 45 minutes, however long it takes, show them a mirror, and watch the person's day change as they look in the mirror.
Yeah.
That to me is so cool.
Yeah, I had a new client today, which was pretty cool. He was probably 12, and he went and got a haircut, and he hated it from another spot. I won't say name. And his mom took him out of school.
Great clips.
He took him out of school because we couldn't get him in. This is the only time I can get him in. It was like at 2:00. So, he's pretty nervous. He's coming in. He's all over the place. He's, putting his phone in his mom's purse, walking around her. I'm like, buddy, I got you. Don't worry. Come on back. Calm them down. Talk to him about school, sports, cutting his hair. And you could just see his face light up as I'm cutting his hair the way that he kind of envisioned it was supposed to be. And, it was pretty rewarding at the end. He's like, I'm home. I'll be back, and it was pretty nice.
And Mom's happy.
Oh, Mom was really
Mom's
happy.
day, because he's been a tyrant for a day ever since that he had the bad haircut. So, and maybe in defense to a lot of the females that you would go to as a man, a lot is lost in translation. When you try to, I know that there's not many barbers and stylists out there that, wake up and say, I'm really going to mess somebody's hair up today. I think it's just a product of their training and their commitment to it. Maybe, there's an aspect of that, but a lot of it is you can only do what, you've got in front of you and what you've been told.
That comes to, some of these barbers or stylists, they're just uneducated and not, seasoned into it. I'm not going to say like I haven't messed anybody's hair up in the past. I mean, I definitely did when I was first starting off, but you hope you have a good mentor behind you that can, fix what you've done, stuff like that, or coach you on what you should be doing and stuff like that.
I think you're obviously the expert opinion here, but to me, barbering is almost more about relationships and networking than it is about actually cutting the hair. Like, there's the skill to do it, but like you said, you need a great mentor to teach you how to be a good barber, but also kind of teach you some of the more soft skills, like how to communicate with customers.
Yeah.
How to grow a relationship with customers so that they come back.
Yeah. I definitely had like a mentor like that. That was Anthony D. Benedictus, big name. Yeah.
Sounds Greek.
He's Italian.
Sounds important.
Benedictus.
Yeah.
Dang. He's probably a mayor of some Italian city over there. So.
He's in Cleveland. He's in Mayfield. But he definitely educated me a lot. Him and his dad did, Gary. Both phenomenal talkers. just nonstop talking. And when I first got into this, I was not good with communicating. Like, I was very closed in and just let me do what I got to do.
Yeah.
One, I think I was kind of, trying to figure out my craft and just do it right.
Yeah, more worried about the hair at this point.
I was thinking about it more than just trusting what I was already taught. So, yeah.
That's so cool. Yeah. See, it's to me, it's just such an interesting, yeah. And then, like we said, like you get all walks of life that sit in the chair. I'm just kind of curious. Obviously, you've probably had thousands of people in front of you. Within there's probably some pretty crazy stories, like people coming and just telling you off the wall things. You're like, why are you telling me this?
Yeah, I do. But then I think about it and I'm like, they needed to tell somebody something.
Yeah.
Right. So, a lot of my inner circle friends, in the past will be like, what's the, stories, what'd you hear? And I usually keep everything in house. I think that's a respect thing. They're telling me this stuff. So I kind of keep it low key. Unless they're joking around, they want to just,
joke around.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll meet a cool guy that just is just fun to be around. You want to, that's something that you don't mind talking about, but it's similar to almost a therapist. A lot of people, that is their therapy, to be able to sit down and vent, because what we were talking about earlier, like the locker room, the clubhouse at the golf course, the fire station, wherever you may be, it's just, there's a lot of good conversation that comes out of that. And I know that there's a lot of, because my son does go there as well.
Yeah. He was in today.
Adam, and I found out about that on a phone conversation a while ago. I was just like, yeah, I've got to get ready for the podcast. And Adam said, yeah, I left Adam. And then he proceeds to tell me a funny story about a store he went in downtown and said, you need to come back with me. We would have fun in there. And I'm like, it's a clothing store down. Why he ends up there, I don't know. That's just kind of how he is. But anyway, so he just brings it up in conversation, but there's some kind of a solace to knowing that he's there, and I know he's getting some good advice, because I do think that Adam does a good job, at that, at giving advice. Mm-hmm. And that's, sometimes you just need somebody to affirm something that you're thinking, or maybe, tell you, well, you might want to pump the brakes on that just a little bit, and that's to be in a position to where, and you've got a pretty captive audience when you got a couple pair of scissors in your hand, some clippers, and you're strapped to the chair.
Yeah.
If you move, you're going to get that hair all over you, and that's the worst thing in the world. So I'm about as captive as I can be throughout the day when I'm sitting there, and it is such a reprieve for me to just sit there every couple of weeks.
Just now I'm thinking about this out loud. I think what's cool about the barbering, but in the past, I'm probably thinking, I don't even know, 80s, 70s, when like barbers, like this is the thing. My grandfather had the same barber for like 30 years. And I think that was common for that generation. Like you went and saw Tony every 2 weeks at this time, and it became like a routine. But I think we had more of that. So like you had more time to have conversations and really get to know people. Like now we're so glued to our phones and so independent that we don't ever really communicate with people. So now that the barbering is kind of like taking a new wind, to me it's cool. So I think that'll be great for men's health, especially men's mental health.
Definitely. And, they can't really be on their phone when I'm cutting their hair.
Right.
People try to, but usually I'm like,
stop.
You got to put your phone down so I can work, like I can't keep, when you're going like this, it's not gonna be the same vibe.
Yeah.
And people respect that. And I think, it's uncomfortable at first because everybody's glued to their phones, but it's good for them.
Yeah. To me, I don't know. It's funny. So my wife yells at me. I'm the person that likes to talk. Also, like, even if my barber's not, or whoever is cutting my hair, I'll be like, I'm going to ask them about their day, about their life. I do that with all the things. So like a masseuse, I didn't know that you weren't supposed. Yeah, I didn't know that you weren't supposed to talk during a massage. My wife had to tell me that. I mean, I'd be asking them like, oh, what do you do? Like, you play pool? You play billiards? All right, cool. I was in a league too. And you just get to know people.
I didn't know you got massages.
Every once in a while, yeah. I got that scoliosis back, so I need
that thack.
My back looks like the Superman symbol.
Yeah.
I mean,
I have none of that.
No, I mean, I've never gotten a massage.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh.
Which is crazy. Yeah. People rave about it. They're like, you got to go. I'm like,
I'm on the other side of that. I think you're good.
I'm good.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think you find you a good stretcher, somebody that can really like. That's what I want. Lay me down and stretch me.
Those are new. Those are things coming out.
I'm
of
all
it.
about that.
But
just
that's
the rubbing all that oil in your skin. I'm out on that. And really, I'm out on just because it's the awkward conversation. Do you want a guy to do it or a girl to do it?
100% girl.
100% you want a girl to do it.
Yeah.
And then it's like I don't. You know what I'm saying? It's like I don't want to enjoy it.
Yeah. Why?
Why? Because it's not my wife. I don't want anybody. Like I don't. It's just a weird thing for me. It is such a, I do go with Melissa, and it started because when Melissa wants me to do something that I'm not really feeling, then she'll recruit Olivia, my daughter, to come in and ask, so then I'm in a catch-22. It can't be that, I know this must be really important to Melissa because she's even asked my daughter to say something. She doesn't even see it that way. It's more like you're only doing it because she wanted you to do it, kind of a deal. So anyway, I get put in that pickle quite a bit, but I'll go get a pedicure, and it does all I can do to sit down in that chair while they are just grinding on your feet and digging inside your feet. And you'll see women leave from there similar that, as we do leaving the barbershop. They're refreshed.
Yep.
And they, they're going to go home. Other than the summertime, they're going to put socks back on, within a little bit of time. And then they're done covering up what you just spent a fortune on. But it's just not to me, it's just not a good feel.
I think it comes down to like with me, a massage or a pedicure, I can't relax, and you need to relax.
Yeah.
My chiropractor tells me that all the time. He's like, bro, you gotta relax. And I'm like, I don't think you've golfed with Chris, but
I did one time in a tournament.
Oh, that's right.
And he's actually I had to go to him.
Yeah, North Augusta chiropractic. Yeah.
I had to go.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Chris Walker.
I was jacked
I had him
up
on my podcast.
Oh, I was jacked up. In the
I don't
back.
think it's Chris Walker.
No, it's the other Chris.
Yeah.
And it was
Mullane. Yeah, Mullane.
And my back was so jacked up after that. Anyway, and then I had to call him. I said, look, can you do me a solid, man, and get me in? And he jammed me up.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's probably not a good word. I mean, he didn't jam me up. He did a jam up job. I mean, he loosened me up and got me back mobile, but talk about a cool guy. That's another cool guy.
I don't know. I was so skeptical on the chiropractor stuff. Had it done 2-3 different times. I would take a massage over a chiropractic visit every time. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But I'm also not out there getting pedicures like you. So
yeah,
you can count on two hands how many times I've gotten one.
They do say
almost 2 digits.
Take care of your feet, and I feel like I'm not doing a very good job at that. Not that my feet are bad, but it's important.
And Chris talks about it too. He's like, everything starts from your feet.
Yep.
So, you just need to take care of them bad boys.
Yeah.
And if you think about really the pampering type things that are out there, if they were looked at as more medicinal and less bougie, I think more people would do it. Like we might need to get a male pedicure place. I almost called it a salon, but like a hangout.
Yeah. I think they do have barbershops that do that full service where they do pedicures and haircuts and stuff.
Really?
Is it weird that, so this is something that I've noticed. It feels like a lot of those services fall kind of under the realm of like a barber. Like a barber might start to do, not a massage therapist, but like massages with the guns after or whatever. I know Sports Clips does something similar to that.
I was going to say
not really a barbershop,
but they do that. Yeah.
Yeah. They have like the massage gun or whatever. Mm-hmm. Why does it all kind of fall under barbering? Because to me, it's so different.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's because you don't have a lot of industries where you're hands-on another person and they're just comfortable. So maybe the massage part is, they're already cutting my hair. Well,
might as well let them.
Right. Go ahead and get the knot out of my shoulder.
Yeah.
Or it's supposed to be relaxing. So I think that's where it goes with
Can you imagine getting it at the dentist?
No.
Putting the drill down and grabbing the gun and just going to work on your back?
Maybe I'd relax more.
My blood pressure's through the roof at the dentist.
That's what I'm
I
trying
can't
to say.
stand it.
If you think about it, I mean, a dentist has got the opportunity to where they need to really step up some of their pampering.
Yeah.
They just come in and grind out and go.
Give you some dumb glasses and throw on some kids show, and you're like, I'm an adult. Why am I watching Nickelodeon?
I mean, I have quite a few dentists as clients, and I love them, but I don't want to go visit them. You know what I mean? They can come visit me, but nah.
And I've got a good one. I mean, if you want to say enjoy, I'm not meaning it like I enjoy getting my hair cut, but I just think that we have come way too far with technology for the dentist to still be such a nuisance to people.
Yeah.
I mean, how in the world you can see your baby, how it looks inside a woman's stomach, but yet we're still using primitive drills and grinding it. I mean,
I've thought about that in the past too. And you're just like, where's the technology? Why isn't it more advanced?
I mean, it just stops with kind of like insurance.
Yeah.
Insurance just stops at the dentist.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, to be fair, they've been using shears for how long now? For cutting hair. Straight razors at that.
Yeah.
Are you a straight razor guy?
I do. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you do like the safety blade or the legit one piece?
It's a little bit of a safety blade.
Yeah.
They're sharper, aren't they?
They just they're disposable.
Probably cleaner.
We can't have a true blade, I believe, in the state of Georgia. I think that's what it was. But I mean, it's not really a safety razor. I mean,
it's a straight razor for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I think that there's something to that too. Like I really like the aesthetic I like the idea of getting cut with one or like shaved with one.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's definitely. I mean, it's a very calming experience when you have somebody else give you a shave than when you're shaving, you know, and you're just trying to rush through it. You kind of really feel, you know, the strokes. Yeah.
There's a lot more to it than just taking a big disposable and running it down the side of your face.
Yeah, yeah.
And
cleaner lines and stuff like that. And if the barber's good, you'll have a good experience. If it's not, well, you know, you'll have a little bit of...
Could be a tough spot.
Yeah, yeah.
But I enjoy, you know, just the warm, you know, foam, the whole bit. I mean, it could be it's something I've had a handful of them, but I also don't have just this huge need to knock out the 5 o'clock shadow all the time. I mean,
sure. Yeah.
My hair just don't grow that fast.
Yeah.
On my face. But anyway, let's talk about some of the out of the office things that Adam likes to do. We talked about golf, and I have got to golf with Adam a few times. Has probably one of the coolest dads that I've met.
Thanks, yeah.
He is a freaking stud. He's such a cool guy. We had him at our club, and knowing I did, and talk about a good time. I think he enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, he loves your course. Yeah,
he just enjoyed getting out and playing, and
yep.
And we had a great time. And you talking about a stick? I can tell back he
played back in the day.
Oh, he was a stick.
Yeah.
Is that who taught you golf?
He helped teach me golf. Yeah. He was a teaching professional for.
Oh wow.
Yeah, majority of my life. Yeah, so
that's awesome. So of course, then you're a stick for sure yourself.
Oh yeah, he could. Yeah.
He's going to be humble about it, of course, but that's incredible.
I'm working on it. I got a goal. Let's see if I can get there.
Yeah, man, I heard the Northeast in that one. I got a goal.
Yeah, he's got a goal. So that was a good time that we got to play some golf and just hang out a little bit, eat some lunch. It was a good time.
Yeah, definitely a great time. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
I know he enjoyed it. He talks about you guys a lot, always asking about you. I said, I don't know. Daddy doesn't call or anything. We don't play golf anymore. I don't know.
I see him every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then I got to play with his brother.
Yeah, Daniel.
Dan, he come to play, and son, he was ready. Now, he wasn't maybe as polished with his game, but I promise you he had more fun than the rest of us had.
Yeah. Yeah, he loved it.
And that's one of the things that I like to do, similar to Adam. I like to get together with people that, especially like with Adam, in Adam's case, his family, the majority of them are still up north. Not the majority, 100% of them.
Yeah. Besides my sister Kate, she's in Charlotte.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she's semi-cultured.
Mm-hmm.
with the rest of us. But anyway, it's pretty neat when you get to have, create some sort of a connection there and then get out and do something fun. I've done it with a couple other friends too, but it's always so fun to me just to see the interaction and just to get to experience some of that together. And of course, his dad was pretty adamant. He was like, just look out for him. Look out for my boy, kind of a deal.
Yeah.
And I was like, look, man, I'll do it. I don't want no trouble, because you could tell back in the day, he was probably a pretty stern guy.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I didn't want to test any of that. And Dan, I promise you, I wouldn't test his brother.
Yeah.
His brother would kill you. So it is pretty cool though to get to see them interact and how much they enjoy, the time getting to spend together. And then you do it. This just so happened to be over golf because it was that right time of year and that's Adam's sweet spot. So that's why we kind of did that. But, there's a lot of other ways you can connect. But it all goes back to the same thing with me that I talk to a lot of people about is just the art of getting back to connecting in that community type deal.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that's really changed my life. I guess it's become more of a passion of mine, where it used to be more success driven, or I used to be that way. Now it's more just staying connected. And I think that's something that in your line of work, there's a lot of opportunity for you to stay connected with people.
I mean, definitely. I mean, like we've said before, you meet people all walks of life, engineers and all kinds of stuff. And, you build good friendships if you want to, definitely with you. You definitely held your bargain when Dad said, look after me, which you have. So
we try.
Yeah, you do good.
Have you ever seen your chair as like a platform for you to kind of like help others? I mean, like, do you see your chair as, I guess that's a better question. Do you see your chair as a platform?
I don't know. Cause I wasn't really, what's your definition of a platform?
I guess like just a place for you to kind of like that's your soapbox to help others, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's one of the reasons I got into doing the hair is, like I said before, it's pretty, it's very rewarding for me to have somebody leave and they're in a better mood or do they just feel good about themselves. And, it's not like, I'm, using the platform to like, share my opinion about, government or, stuff like that or stuff. I mean, they could talk to me about it and stuff like that. And if they want my opinion, I'll give my opinion, but it's more or less just making people feel good about themselves. And
that's awesome.
Yeah. Not an agenda pusher.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Or a narrative pusher.
All right. Well, I didn't want to take it fully away from golf, but when you found out that you were going to move here to Augusta, how pumped were you?
I was very pumped. That was,
and then have you been there since? Have you been to the Masters?
I've been to the Masters. Yeah. I got to, go there, the second year I was here.
Which was what year? 2 years ago? 19?
So actually it was.
Who won?
It was, oh, you put me on the spot. I should have known who won that year.
I went the year Tiger went, or Tiger won.
So 18?
The year prior?
Yeah, you won 18?
Yeah.
19 was closed. That was Fall Masters. And then I went to the one after that, and I think that was Scotty that won. No, it wasn't. It was, what's his name?
Dustin Johnson won the Fall Masters, right?
Correct.
And then Scotty Scheffler won the following year.
There was one in between.
No, it's what's his name? Yats.
Hideki Matsuyama.
I think Yats. Yeah.
Is that him?
Oh.
Yeah, that was right. That's when the caddy had the cool moment at the end.
Yep.
Went back and paid tribute to the whatever.
Yeah, that place is just so beautiful. I mean, it's so incredible. As like a golf fan, I grew up playing golf like you, and when I found out that I was getting stationed here with the Army, I was like, heck yeah, are you kidding me? I get to go here. And then I got to go to the Masters like the following year, and I was like, this is a dream come true. But you go in there and you just like, there's so much to appreciate.
Oh, yeah.
And what I realized is you don't even have to like the game of golf to appreciate what's there.
100%.
Like they've built it for everyone.
They definitely have. It's kind of funny you say that because Dale, the owner of the shop, He's never been. Todd's never been. And, when I went the first year, they saw how exciting it was and how I would talk about it. And then Todd didn't go this year, but Dale did for the first time. I'm like, you just got to experience. You just got to go in, take the opportunity, see what it's about. And he left and he was like, yeah, you're right. It's not all about golf. It is, but there's so much more. You can look at the landscaping. You can look at the details, the structure of the buildings, the way that their staff is handling stuff. It's like
an art. It's like a masterpiece.
Yeah,
it really is. And then I want to talk about, so you got to go to the course not as a spectator necessarily one time. You did a really cool thing working for Netflix with Full Swing.
Yeah, I got the opportunity to work with them, with their film crew last year when Ron won it. And I was there every day, just cruising around, watching golf, helping them change out their lenses, driving them around the property. We got to go behind Amen Corner, behind the scenes.
That's so cool.
And, by Hogan's Bridge.
Yeah.
And it was this, oh man, I mean, that view, just to see it, I was like, that's...
From that angle, I'm sure.
Right, it was like...
Because you're so used to seeing it from TV and from paintings and pictures from that one side. So to see it from the opposite side has got to be just so cool.
It was very cool. I think Morikawa was walking over the bridge when we were standing there, so that was pretty sweet. Yeah.
That's
you think it can't be real. Like, you hear so many of the little tales that people tell about the Augusta National and, pumping in chirps and birds and all this kind of stuff. And you're like, man, there's no way that place is like it is until you walk through there and you're like, yeah, there is no way. It's better.
Yeah.
And for it to be better in person, I guess maybe that it's not as unusual to everybody else as it was to me. I just felt like it was so put on that there's no way that it's going to live up to the hype until you go.
Yeah. And
you're like, dude, this is insane.
Insane.
And it's the service there that, to me, if you want to know how to pro it up and pro everything up, like take it to the next level. And I'm talking about way above Disney, way above, and this isn't going to be a popular thing to say here, but way above Chick-fil-A. There are levels above Chick-fil-A.
There is.
That, Christian chicken is a big thing around here. But there's stuff there's a way to do things better.
Yeah.
And they have got it, they've kind of got it nailed.
Yeah.
And so it's a pretty cool experience. So everybody, if you get an opportunity, just walk up to the gate and tell them you want to come.
Yeah, just go check it out.
Tell them you want to go in and check things out.
You could do it.
See how that works.
Did it surprise you kind of like when you first got here, like driving by it, were you like, what were your expectations prior to that?
So,
I didn't know what to think when I first drive by.
When I grew up, all you do is you see the course on TV. I haven't seen anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So when I got here and I'm driving down at Washington, I'm like, where's the course?
Yeah.
Right. I'm like, what's going on? What's all this bamboo? I'm like, I can't see anything, Mm-hmm. So I was a little, I'm not going to lie, I was disappointed. I was disappointed. I was like, all right. It took me about another month and a half to get comfortable where we were at. And then I'm like, I'm going golfing just to see what the courses are like around here and stuff like that. And kind of fell in love with the place. It was just
the area you're talking about. Yeah.
Augusta. And then I got that wrong. It took me almost 2.5 years to get on the course. And I kept, just telling myself, somehow I'm going to get on the course. Somehow I'm going to get on the course, I didn't know how I was going to do it. If I was going to get a ticket, somebody,
maybe a client. Yeah.
Yeah. A client came up to me and he's Jack Long. He, it was like last minute. He's like, hey, a client of mine's using the ticket for half a day. Do you want to go? And I'm like, let's go. So, and got on there, and then I got to the next year, got to work with Full Swing.
How did that come about?
Mike Crawley, he, I probably jacked up your name. Sorry, dude. He's a client of mine, and he works for the National. He wanted me to work with them, the National, and I kind of slept on it a little bit for some reason. Yeah, doesn't sound like me, but
not very smart.
Thank you. Well, it worked out. He came in for a haircut a week before the tournament. I'm like, I'm in. I'm going. He's like, well, it's gone. I'm like, all right. And he's like, but Full Swing's in town. I'm like, sign me up. And he made a couple phone calls, and they contacted me like 2 days later, and that was it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's just, I mean, but to me, that's what's cool about being a barber is because like all the opportunities that can present themselves also.
Yeah.
To the right person.
Yeah. I mean, obviously you gotta be the right person.
That's a testament to doing the right thing and treating people the right way.
Mm-hmm.
Opportunities somewhat, it presents itself to you. And that's, I was fortunate enough to where I get to drive that week some and get to meet some pretty cool people. And I did it to help a friend out the first year. And he was like, there's no way you're not going to drive. I'm like, no, seriously, that's cool with me. I mean, I'll do it. So anyway, similar to your situation, I was floored by how much it wasn't necessarily the working because it's a lot of hours. You're there a long time. To me, what I found out about doing it was how much I enjoyed just the people. I enjoyed getting to meet people from all over the world. And I have been extremely fortunate to have driven some pretty cool people, and getting to go behind the gates and whether it's with players and stuff like that it's a treat.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nerve wracking.
It is.
I thought that, I was going to be arrested. I had to go pick up a guy, we'll call it that. Anyway, I was driving down. I had to go to, he said, yeah, just come down. They said, yeah, you just go down Magnolia and make a left at the clubhouse. And I'm like, I'm still thinking in my Augusta brain, like I'm going to go down Washington Road and make a left at Magnolia. I mean, what are you talking about?
Yeah. No.
No, you need to come in the gate. And I'm like, man, there's no way. But anyway, I did it. And then I'm making a left, and I'm thinking at any moment, this road that I'm on, I'm going to end up on the par 3 course. I'm like going to top the hill and be in play, because I just, you don't realize how big it is for one.
Yeah.
Right.
But you also don't realize you'd have never made it that far, that they're going to take care of that pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But I was so nervous to go pick them up, in the private housing there. And so
I agree. Yeah. It's the first day working with them was so nerve wracking. Probably the first 2 days, you're just like, you don't know what boundaries you can, cross, or, because like you said, there's so many rules. You can't, if you mess up.
Yeah. Sorry.
you might just come up missing.
Right. Yeah.
It's that kind of a deal. So the whole time you're trying not to screw up.
Right.
It's not about enjoying, and, because I had a lot of the guys when I got back, they were like, well, what was it like? How did blah, blah, blah. And I was like, dude, I don't know. I know nothing about it. I was so afraid I was going to mess something up that I didn't really even enjoy it. Fortunately I've been able to go back in several times after that.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a little less mind boggling to me. But anyway, yeah, it's a special place.
Definitely.
And it brings out a special side, I think, in people, whether you like golf or not, to your point. I think it's a cool, and really, if you want to drill down into it, it's just the appreciation for something that you don't normally get to experience. It's kind of like, one of those moments where, and I don't know why, I feel like I find myself saying it a lot. Like there's no logical reason why I should be where I'm at right now. It doesn't make sense.
Right.
It whether it's, something to do with music or whatever it is. I just have found myself like, there's no way that some redneck like me should be I mean, I'm way too close to something, it's like, this is unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it's pretty cool when you get to experience those kind of highs and I think that's the thing that we tend to take for granted a lot more than we should.
Yeah. All right. So I want to wrap things up a little bit, but I want to make it fun. So I Googled search just some haircuts that are making a comeback for men. And I want to know your take on it. The first one, it's not on this list, but I know it is coming back, the mullet. What do you think of the mullet?
Oh yeah, I love it. That took off a lot.
That's
after
2 years old, Mike.
Yeah. It's
I know it's making a comeback.
Oh, it's come back. It's about
I
gone.
know it's back.
Yeah.
It's gone
Gotta be
already.
fast. It's almost gone.
It's not gone, but
All right. So who popularized it then, in your opinion?
that would be the great wives of COVID, cutting all their husband's hair when the barbershops and salons were closed. They were just cleaning up around the ears, and guys were just growing it out. And then I remember we opened up about a month and 3 days after COVID. We were one of the first shops open. And I remember, what was it? Kyle. Kyle came in. I think he was one of the first mullets. He's like, I just want to do a mullet. And I said, not a problem. And he had decent amount of hair, and he grew it all the way out. And then I had another guy, Nick. He was on it, and he's still rocking it. He's still rocking the mullet. Yeah. So,
All right, the bowl cut.
bowl cut.
I don't even believe these. I don't believe a lot of them, but the bowl cut.
Yeah. I mean,
All right, let's hear.
Back in the skater
I was
days.
gonna say,
A shaved head. Shaved head is definitely coming back.
yeah.
People
yeah.
are doing the shaved head.
Sure.
thing.
Oh,
What
yeah.
What do you think that it's just less maintenance, or is it like a look?
It's just a look. Yeah. You know,
The old Maroon 5
it comes and goes. All these looks are gonna come and go
again.
back and forth. You know what? Here's one that's pretty popular right now. The very curly hair on top.
Oh, the broccoli top.
I mean,
That's what I call it.
The Mahomes. That's the Mahomes cut.
he had a big part of it, right? And then you know, it's just definitely taken off. Like, what's his name?
Do you like it?
I mean, I rocked it for a little bit. My hair's pretty curly.
Yeah.
I didn't really shave the bottom. I was just trying to grow it out like Jesus, and then I couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
What about the slicked back? I know that's kind of coming back.
Yep, definitely. I believe our boy Noah's rocking that look right now.
He does. He looks like
John Gotti.
he looks kind of like
John Guy.
one of the one of the Trumps.
Yeah. That's a good one.
He's
yeah.
an Eric Trump lookalike.
Yeah.
He is. And then, yeah, he's just always to the nine. So did he come in a suit?
He did. Yeah. I was calling him out. I'm like, a 3-piece suit. Look at you.
Yeah.
He's like, it's cold outside. I'm like, yeah, it's
Cold outside.
That's why I call him John Gotti now. He's never not to the nines.
I'm like, you look good, man. Just stepped it up
Coming
a
in
little
there with his Harvey Specter look.
bit. Yeah.
That's supposed to
Had the glasses on and everything today. I was like, all right.
And then I just want to get your take. So I was in the Army, and when I deployed to Afghanistan, they have barbers there, well, quote unquote barbers, but it's all like contracted out, and none of them are like American people. They're all from different countries.
Yep.
We went to the Indian person, and I don't know if you know this, but their they go the extra mile. It's like they do like your sinuses, like they'll rub your sinuses. They like smack your head. Have you ever seen it?
I have partially, but I haven't seen, I haven't experienced it in person or anything like that.
It's crazy. And I feel like they're constantly snipping the scissors, even if they're not cutting your hair. Like there's just something about that. I guess it's playing through my...
But it's like do you go to get your skin exfoliated and your pimples mashed? I mean, is that really necessary?
Let me show you.
I mean, for starters, how do you do that in 30 minutes? Is that about the average time?
And it'll cost
Yeah.
like $6. Like just,
$6?
I mean, it's in there.
Now, you can wash my hair
Look at
as
this.
long as you
Look at
want to.
They like slap your head with like your fingers. And I didn't expect, I hadn't like, the first time I went there was nobody in front of me. So I didn't see this. All of a sudden, this guy starts like smacking my head. I'm like, I'm not really a confrontational person. So I'm just kind of like looking at my buddy who's with me, like, is this normal?
You
And he's
getting
like,
punked or
I don't
something?
know.
You getting punked? What's going on?
I don't know, but I did it. I went through with it. And then you start to learn to like enjoy it. They start like squeezing your head like this, and you're like, all right, I'll take it.
I need more of that, Adam.
No.
Yeah.
That
We're going to
dude-
bring this to real life barbering.
This is what I got to start doing.
Yeah.
If you start doing that, I just want to have a camera on all the other guys.
He's literally massaging his
You
eyebrows.
massage my eyebrows.
Yeah.
It's going to be a different experience for me.
Wow.
Look at that.
Yeah.
They do like a hot towel. There's just the
Beating
bang
on
of
that
the
head,
head.
I don't know.
that's a no-fly zone for me.
Right?
You know,
That's what I was thinking. I was like, he was really aggressively hitting the guy in the head. And I
Yeah,
was like, I don't see that being relaxing, but
No, I don't see that as like
But hey,
the Judy chop to the head is where I would say,
Probably accident that one.
pump the
Yeah.
brakes.
I just didn't know. To me, it's cool though that like there's barbering, but like in different cultures, it's much different experience. But it's still the same result, I guess.
sure. Yeah. I mean, I guess you get that with everything in life, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, all around the world, there's something a little bit different than what everybody else is doing. So kind of makes it unique in their own way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
I feel lazy now after watching that, but I mean, yeah.
All you're doing is cutting hair. One thing I did want to talk to you about for some of the people out there is, you moved to the area.
Mhm.
You didn't have like a built-in customer base here. I don't guess we call it a customer base. Maybe a client base.
Clientele.
Clientele. It's great. I knew there was a word for it. But anyway, you didn't have any built-in clientele. So what do you think were some of the things that you did to help get that going? And how do you feel the role of networking and what have you has played in your success?
So, I mean, when I first came down here, it was definitely tough. But, Dale definitely helped me out a little bit. They would give me quite a few clients that would call in, and I would just be myself and do a decent job, and usually the client would rebook. I also, it sounds funny. I mean, I didn't know a lot of people, so I'd go on the golf courses and just set a tee time by myself and link up with some, foursome, and they would book an appointment with me. So I pulled a couple of people off the golf course, and just slowly letting it mature, and that's how things got started. Yeah.
But you do think that, I guess it is fair to say that growing that clientele comes from just relational more than anything else. You're not running ads in the paper, and I don't see a billboard of you.
No, I didn't do that. I just, I think people knew they could see that I was pretty knowledgeable in what I was doing and stuff like that. And they liked, the product afterwards. And, when I moved down here, I was already doing hair for 10 years, just under 10 years. So I think the confidence and just, doing a decent job on their haircuts and, the way I communicate and stuff like that. So, COVID definitely, that was tough because, we had nothing going on, and then it just kind of blew up a little bit. And
when people could get their hair cut again after COVID, they just came in droves.
They did actually a little bit. We had one guy come all the way from Charlotte. North Carolina. I think he drove a round trip 9 hours to get a haircut.
That's crazy.
It was literally a number 2, and then taper his fade, taper in the sides and stuff like that.
That's crazy.
Spent
drive 9 hours for it.
I took a little bit more time, because it's a pretty quick haircut, and just talking to him. He was a analyst or something like that, but he's never come back, but he just needed to get out of the house and stuff like that. So it kind of opened up the window for him he looked for the closest barbershop. We were the closest barbershop. So
That's insane.
that was his decision.
That's crazy.
4.5 hours away to get a barbershop.
Yeah. Have you ever cut like a celebrity's hair or something like that?
I mean,
I'm just saying, like, have you ever cut
sure
someone's
I
hair
have.
where you've been nervous to cut their hair?
yeah, sure. When I first started off cutting hair, I was nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now you're kind of like, it doesn't matter. It's
They all matter, but it's, I'm confident in what I do now.
Mhm.
So, if they give me some ideas of what they're looking for, I can usually hit the mark, if they come in, they're like, do whatever you want to do. And I'll do
That's
whatever look at their, face shape and stuff like that. And be like, all right, your hair could do this, your hair could do that. Kind of talk them through it, give them some ideas, and then
execute.
That's an easy mark to hit. Do whatever you want.
Yeah.
That's what I started doing. I mean, not really. Now I kind of have like just a look, but I wish that like a barber would just be like, all right, have you ever tried this? Like, this might look good. That type of stuff.
That's code for your hair looks jacked up the way that you want it done. So let me help you fix it.
I do that sometimes, though. Yeah.
I don't even.
It's not even that it's jacked up though. Like, you might be like, hey, have you ever thought about doing this? I know you come in Like for me, I used to get the line cut into my, like the what do they call it? A hard part.
Mm-hmm.
And that was off a recommendation. But then I stopped.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever done anything kind of weird.
No.
I've kind of kept it pretty normal.
Have you ever done like the designs in the head?
Oh yeah.
Or designs in the hair? Really?
Oh yeah.
He did,
Really?
he did that in my little nephew's hair.
Yep.
Hooked him up with a mullet and a little lightning bolt or something. I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
I think
it was a lightning bolt.
Was
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like, are those, do you
No.
enjoy those types of haircuts where it's like you get to be more creative?
Oh yeah, it's cool. I mean, I have one client. She, shaves underneath the back of her head, just the back part, and we'll do some crazy designs. Like we did a spider web for Halloween and stuff like that, and
That's kinda cool.
flowers, checkerboard. And I'm not doing anything like super,
You're not doing the Mona Lisa.
No,
Like a
Yeah.
cat
we're not going
Von D
that. I don't do
tattoo.
enough. I don't spend enough time on that stuff to perfect it, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But
You do a good enough job, obviously.
some of those
She-
barbers out there, man, they're masters. I mean, it's amazing. It looks like a tattoo on their head,
Yeah. Yeah, it's incredible.
with the shading and everything. It's pretty amazing.
No, I feel pretty boring.
You're not boring.
Just getting the boring old haircut.
I mean, we could change it up.
No,
I got a couple ideas.
I think you should do the mohawk. Inverted
I
mohawk.
was thinking like a mullet. Don't you think you'd look good with a
Oh,
mullet? Right?
yeah.
Yeah, an old man like me with a mullet. That's what we need to do.
I mean, you'd be killing it at the country concerts, man. You'd fit right in.
I would.
Yeah.
Even Morgan Wallen shaved his head.
Yeah. I
say
think it
shaved
looks
his
better
head.
with
He
it.
cut it down pretty
short.
low. But he got rid of the Theo and went to the Eric Church look.
Mm-hmm.
Everything comes and goes.
And it is pretty cyclical, isn't it? It's just like everything cycles in and out, same cuts.
Yep.
Because I think now a lot of I don't even know what you call it, the pompadour, is it a pompadour or something?
Pompadour.
That kind of made a pretty big resurgence, I guess you could say, where you saw a lot of people. I don't know if it's a Bruno Mars, but it was a lot of.
It is crazy how much influence like just someone with a new hairstyle will have on the masses. Like the whole Patrick Mahomes thing.
Yeah, look
I'm
at
sure he
Rachel.
played
Rachel
huge.
off of Friends, I think, started it with that
Yep.
layer cut in the back.
Yep. I had to learn that back in the day. They're like, you got to know this, Rachel.
And it was literally
That's
the
what they
Rachel,
called it?
wasn't
Yep.
The Rachel? That's crazy.
Isn't that neat that I knew that?
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah, it is pretty cool though. But you'll find somebody that's pretty influential, and everybody decides that to accurately take on that persona, we need to get that cut.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, what do? We watch a lot of TV and, screens and stuff like that, or sports, and these people influence us, and
Yeah.
they, especially if they're younger, they see their favorite sports star doing a cool cut, and they want to look like that when they're playing sports. So, yeah.
Well, let me ask you this: who cuts Adam's hair?
Usually anybody in the shop, one of them. I let when PJ was first starting out, I was trying to coach him a little bit, so I really would let him just create as much as he could, and I would talk him through it and stuff like that. And, I mean, he's awesome now. I mean, he's probably the fastest barber stylist that I've ever seen really take off.
He's the one next to you, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Really cool guy.
Yeah, he's doing a phenomenal job. And then, if Dale can do it, he'll do it. Todd will do it. But usually I'm like begging them to cut my hair before I go up north or something. I'm like, I need a haircut. Somebody's got to cut my hair. And they're always like, book an appointment. I'm like, they always rip on me. And they're like, come in early. And that's one of my downfalls. I don't really come in early. Yeah.
Well, what's your current ratio you think of male to female?
Probably 80-20.
Really?
Yeah, maybe a little bit more, 85. Yeah. But I chose that down here. I mean, it's just, I love doing women's hair too. And it just, the men's clientele, I'm able to get them in and get them out and, go that route.
Yeah.
Not that, the woman's haircut, it will take maybe 45 minutes, where men's haircut could be 15 to 30 minutes. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
I got some just like fire questions.
Sure.
Are there any products that you should stay away from? Hair products.
I mean, research everything, right? You know,
Like that
probably
LA look. Is that good stuff?
That's probably not the best stuff. It's probably got a lot of alcohol in it.
Yeah.
Right. You know, you got to think of stuff like that. You know, anything that's going to dry out your scalps and stuff like that. Yeah.
Is it a myth that wearing a hat causes hair loss?
I would say that I don't know enough information on it, but I would say it's a myth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have found out it will break it. It'll break your hair.
It will definitely break your hair.
What does that mean?
I can show you.
I don't get. What are you showing me?
You can't see those little hairs up there?
For those listening, oh, I see them. Yeah, baby hairs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
they look like little baby hairs, but we've been monitoring it.
yeah. What happens is there's tension, right? So even with women putting their hair up in a ponytail, you know, the hair can only take so much stress. So eventually it weakens and breaks. Just like us wearing hats all the time, you know, it's pushing against it. It's weakening the hair. It's going to break.
That's why we redesigned the sweatband in our hats now. And it is just to greatly reduce that from happening.
Wow.
Did I inspire that?
I would like to say you may have highlighted it, but me looking up there at my dome and those little bitty hairs.
Yeah,
the mirror is what told
and I
him
was like,
about
what
it.
in the world is going on right now? Why does he keep shaving my head up here? I thought he was trying to put one of them little chalk lines up there. I was like, no, man. I mean, they're breaking. I said, let's just try to let them go and see what happens. And I got some length in them now. They might get to join the rest of the crew pretty soon.
Yeah.
They will.
But it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Well, cool. I think that's all I got, unless you got something.
I'm just going to throw a few random
You got some questions? All right.
that I wanted to throw at them. Oddly enough, the first one was bad haircut or bad dye job.
Which would what? What would he rather fix?
What would you rather have? I mean, obviously to me, a bad dye job.
What do you mean I'd rather
Hair
have?
dye.
You want blue hair?
You want a bad haircut or you want bad hair dye?
Bad hair dye sounds like it would like kill your hair.
Well, I mean, it possibly could, but it also sounds fixable.
It sounds, well, yeah, I would say a bad haircut. Dyeing would be, I could fix a haircut. Dyeing could be you're shaving all your hair off and starting over.
Have you ever gotten a case of Nair in the shampoo?
No.
I've heard about that. Like as like
I have to.
that always scared me. Nair? You ever heard of it?
Oh, I've heard of it, yeah.
Yes. Someone told me once that they, put Nair in someone's shampoo. I don't know if that sounds like it would suck.
That's a friendship.
Like all of a sudden you're looking like you got alopecia or something.
Yeah.
That's the hair thing.
That
right?
is I think that's like a friendship ending.
Ending, right. Yeah, that's not a friend you want to keep around, I think.
Yeah.
Well, we did refer back to our first series that we did on gratitude, which we had a couple pretty cool guests. And we're going to add a couple more. I don't know how many before the end of the year, but we're going to be bringing in some other people. And I don't know if this is going to be like the head under the hat series or Mike's wife was genius enough to come up with that. So it's pretty cool to get to know a little bit more about the head under the hat.
Yeah. The man with the head under the hat. I guess we're all men with the head under the hat.
Yeah. I mean, and it's, I'm not opposed to having a female that
Where's the hat?
wears the hat.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you, Adam obviously is somebody that we're not only, friends with now, but we're grateful for as well. So we appreciate you taking time to come over here after working all day long. It wasn't the easiest thing in the world to do, but I feel like we've been blessed because of it. And hopefully if you need to get a haircut, you can go down to Real Life and see Adam Smith. I'm going to say his last name on here for the first time. It was kind of like we had.
Yeah, I don't know.
Adam.
I should have said Adam
Like
Smith.
Even that, I mean, like the very first Adam.
Yeah.
But he does spell his name Atom. It's a little different than. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm like, what
Mike
in
was
the
like, that's
world?
weird.
That's some Cleveland stuff right there, I guess.
That's right, straight out of Cleveland.
Thank you.
But yes, we are proud to. I proudly try to represent him to as many people as I can, because I do know you will leave there different. Now, different, it's open. I mean, you're going to leave different, sure enough, but it's up to you whether or not it's going to be positive. So anyway, that's all I want to say. I'm just thankful for Adam and for what he does for me and everybody I send to him. And he's kind of manned up for me, and that's what we need more of. So is there anything you want to throw out, Adam?
As in,
just in general,
this is your time to shine.
No, I mean,
anything else that you've got?
No, I just want everybody to know that if if you need somebody, don't be afraid to ask, and it's always good to be open as much as you can and kind of get out of your comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Jesse has definitely helped me do that. Yeah.
It'll help you do that for sure.
He does. He does. He pushes me.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
It's great stuff.
Love it. All right. Well, Adam Smith, thank you again, and I'll make sure I plug your stuff in the show notes for this so people can come get cut up.
Thank you.
All right.
I appreciate you.
All right, man. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, man.
No way I could have known that back tire blowout.
All right, guys, that's a wrap. Thank you so much for listening. If you would please leave us a review and a rating, that is how we get the word out about this podcast. And lastly, go check us out at Kings Creek Apparel. Thank you.